Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more. Dell.
England have made light work of Bangladesh in the first ever T20 international that these two teams have played against each other. 8-wicket win for them. That puts them nice and pretty at the top of Group 1 and keeps Bangladesh's World Cup semi-final hopes hanging by a thread. This is Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by Dell. Look back at the afternoon game at Abu Dhabi with Steve Harmison and Shahriar Nafees. And a little while from now, we'll also look ahead to Scotland v Namibia, where Peter Boren will join us. Steve, that's two very convincing wins out of two. England looked the part.
Yeah, England do look the part, and I think not so much for the big teams, but I think the benchmark is set now. The bar is set so high by England that I think a lot of teams will be looking at where England are at this moment in time and thinking, we've got a long way to catch up in game plan, in execution of game plan. And also, just by their stature and their aura at the minute, because it just seems that, they're the big giants in this tournament at the moment, and a lot of teams are looking up to them. And it seems as though they're a long way away, because that what they did in the first game, we were arguing, was it the West Indies? Was it a little bit of fluke? Element of luck going in England's way? Well, they'll just back that up with a comprehensive win. Six overs in a T20 game. That is a comprehensive win, and England look in good order.
Yeah, that's hammering effectively, and that's disappointing, Shahriar, for this Bangladesh side that we thought were getting better towards the end of round one and played superbly, at least with bat against Sri Lanka. You must be very disappointed with that sort of effort today in what was effectively an important game for them to win.
Extremely disappointed. Extremely disappointed. Bangladesh didn't have a good go with the bat, but when they came out to bowl, we at least expected that Bangladesh could have put up a fight. But I totally agree with Steve that England is looking too strong. They have set the standard in this tournament. Their white ball form has been phenomenal for the last few years. Looking at their batting, bowling, and fielding, it looks like they have specific plans, and the way these players are executing the plans at the ground in every situation, that is exceptional. In this kind of matches, you could have expected England come, try to take some time, try to score easily, but no, they came there, they meant business, they batted absolutely brilliantly, absolutely outstanding, and England will be a force to look at in this tournament, probably one of the most favorite teams in this World Cup.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd like to spend a little time on Bangladesh's batting, Shahriar. I wonder what you make of it. I'm getting the feeling there's a bit of hot and cold about their batting. They lost to Scotland, essentially in a chase they should have won. They batted so well last game. They followed it up with a really timid performance. They seem to have the personnel. Everyone seems to have a lot of talent. But why doesn't their batting show the sort of consistency that you want at this level?
If you look at the batting performance throughout the World Cup, the spot is concerns me most is the top order. In a T20 match, you are batting only 20 overs, so the openers need to set the tone. When the start is a decent one, then the next batsman who comes, they can capitalize. It's always difficult for the batsmen who come up the second, like the one down or two down, losing early wickets. Then you have to actually rebuild and then put up partnerships. We haven't seen much. We haven't seen much tempo from the top orders. We haven't seen the intensity from the top order, and when every time you're losing a couple of early wickets, then you are always playing a catch-up game. And in a T20 match, you don't have time to catch up. I think that is a place to worry. You cannot expect number 3, number 4, number 5, or number 6 to come and bat for 20 overs and score runs for you. It has to be the top order who will set the tone for the later orders. At least you can bat for 4 or 5 overs and try to score something around 30 to 40, and then the middle order can come and build up on that. It's not happening in this World Cup, and that is a place of concern for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Tempo is a good word, actually, Steve, because we thought some of the SENA countries, South Africa, England, New Zealand, Australia, they may be the ones to take a little time to figure their tempo out with bat. And we're kind of seeing that with South Africa initially, Australia, even the West Indies. England seem to have no such problem, at least with the evidence of today. It doesn't look like they're going to take long to get used to getting the tempo right over here.
Yeah, and I'm very, very surprised at how Jason Roy's gone. I'm actually pleased for the lad, because if there was one batsman that was going to concern me on these surfaces and the way that the power play was going to set up with the sort of spin option that everybody has around the world, and I thought Jason might have been the one that would have a bit more of a struggle. But he's worked at his game. I've just listened to his interview. He said, I've worked tirelessly hard in between this, the competition, to try and get myself in a position to hit the ball and hit the ball comfortably against the spinner. And I've worked on my game. And that, for me, for somebody who's played, this was his 50th T20 international, fair play to the kid. He deserved his man of the match. I thought he batted beautifully, and he was my one concern for this batting lineup. They seem to. You're right. Tempo is a good word between Butler and Roy. They seem to know when to get the single, and they know when to run down the wicket and hit the ball straight down the ground. The thing that I liked about this innings by both Jason and Van Joss, even though Joss was just a small cameo, they were trying to hit the ball down the ground and trying to hit the ball straight. They weren't trying to hit across the line of the ball, which meant they were losing their shape. They were seeing the full face of the bat, hitting fielders in the deep, and then when they really wanted to go downtown big, they weren't bothered about fielders on the boundary. They went over the top. So for me, there was a clarity of thought. There was a clear game plan, and there was an execution, which was perfect. And it's ominous signs, because when Jason Roy's in this sort of form, he is very, very dangerous, and not many bowlers around the world can handle him when he is in this sort of form. Going with Josh Butler, who everybody knows what a dangerous performer he is at the top of the order, and the question marks on David Malan on these surfaces, the way David Malan's critics have been, which is slower scoring rate, bats, accumulates quite a few balls. But actually, this might work in England's favour, because if they can get off to a start like they did today, it was at 50 for 1 in the power play, then David Malan just goes in, knocks around, and everybody plays around him. That is a decent foundation